to deal with the valley. The hills are the same. But don't you know you got wild blood running through your veins? You're the leader of the wolf pack with the power of flame. Don't you know you got wild blood running through your veins?
Welcome to the Cast and Camo podcast, where we talk about hunting, fishing, and all things outdoors. Grab your fishing rod, put on your favorite camo, or just sit back and enjoy this week's topic. Cast and Camo begins now.
Yo, yo, yo. What up, Eric?
Not much, Todd. How are you?
You know, it's I'm good. I'm good. How's your weekend?
Oh, I'm stuck in the house. You know, it's kind of
too hot. Yeah.
muggy. It's like really crappy.
Yeah.
But we do have a future coming. Tuesday and Wednesday supposed to be great.
That's it. Tuesday and Wednesday, that's what we have to look forward to.
Yep, that's what we got to look forward to.
Okay. I don't think I have that to look forward to. I looked like my forecast is crap all week. Like, well, progressively getting hotter. Of course, just in time for me to go camping next weekend.
Oh, camping. Where are we going camping to?
My hunting land.
Oh, well, is it going to be really hot there?
I think it's supposed to be 85 on Saturday.
Oh, so you're going to need an air conditioner, aren't you?
I'm gonna need one of those portable air conditioners, and hopefully the generator can run that and the camper air conditioner.
There
That
you
hair
go.
tonic worked great, right? You like that? I'm sporting a new do this week. Going with the kids do that messy look.
So how do I get my hair like that?
Well, first you got to put some, like I'll show you. I got a Bob Ross thing.
All right, go ahead. Bob
I got
Ross.
this Bob Ross Chia Pet thing.
Oh, neat. Yes, I like that.
So I just, instead of putting the Chia Pet stuff like on here, I just put it on my head.
And how long did it take for that to grow out?
2 days.
No kidding.
Yeah, I put some fertilizer on it. It warns, the label of the fertilizer warns against putting the fertilizer right on your scalp. But I thought, kind of already 2 fries short of a Happy Meal anyway, so what is it really going to hurt? You know what I mean?
Well, I didn't notice that an hour ago.
Well, I had a different hat on, so I was hiding it. Now this is a visor. See? Yeah. This is like a golf visor. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I just wondered. Yeah.
Yeah, I had it hiding.
This is so great.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
we're on YouTube. Did you know that?
Yes.
Nice. We are on YouTube as you watch us on YouTube?
Yes, I watch this on YouTube.
Oh. Well, thanks for being a loyal viewer on YouTube.
Every day that we go live, the next day, when I go to lay down in bed, I bring up YouTube.
And you watch Cast and Camo?
I watch Cast and Camo because I miss so much. You wouldn't believe how many things I missed in chat. You know, that because I'm so interested in the show that I miss people like communicate in chat.
Joker, I just saw
I never see Joker ever talk in chat. You know, I think
he has us muted.
Yeah, well, and
Yeah.
so does Buzzard.
Yeah, Buzzard he always has us muted. I don't blame him. Joker does make a good point. I do look like the cool dude on Catfishing America. I do. This is kind of the, some call it the what's that fighting promoter, Don King. Some people would say, hey, that dude kind of looks like Don King. I think it looks like Don Sweet.
Do you have an earring? You got an earring?
I have two. I don't have them in.
Oh, well, Don always has an earring.
Oh. Well, I'll do better next time. Well, even if I had it on, you wouldn't be able to see it.
When he's in the boat going down the river, his little ear flaps like this.
Oh, that's just classic Don Sweet right there. Shout out to Don Sweet.
Yes. Deuces.
Catfishing America.
Yep. We got this.
All right, this is getting too hot. I got to take it off. Oh my God! Now everybody's blind.
Hold it.
What?
Can I shut? Okay, you got it.
Yeah, I didn't want anybody to have to put sunglasses on.
Yeah,
that would just hurt.
Yeah.
But yes, we are on YouTube under Cast and Camo TV. So if you are watching on Twitch and you love the show and you want to watch it, you miss it on a Sunday night because we do it live every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Central Time. You can go to Cast and Camo TV on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. It's free. Like the videos. It helps with some sort of an algorithm that we really don't pay a whole lot of attention to. And comment. I think the comments help on the algorithm that we don't pay attention to either. But it is cool to get some. I like. We have one person that makes comments almost on a weekly basis. The Buzzard. So thanks, Buzzard. I appreciate it. But if you're watching on YouTube later or listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts, we are on Twitch, Cast and Camo on Twitch. We are live every Sunday night. We do the show live. There's no editing. There's no pre-recording. If we mess up, we mess up. That's just the life of live streaming and live shows, right? So when I say stupid shit, and I do a lot,
yes,
there's no editing it out. Yeah, if it's not an if, it's a when and how often do I say something stupid? That's really what it boils down to. It's a matter of time. It's gonna happen. It always does. We have sponsors, Derek. Did you know that?
Yes.
I see you're wearing the CARC hat. I'm sporting the CARC sweatshirt.
Yeah.
CARC is one of our 3 sponsors currently. ! CARC in our chat. And you should be able to check out their new boats. I think we mentioned this already, but they're launching, I believe they said one new boat this fall, which that'll be cool. I'm excited to see what it is. We also have Texas Select Seasonings, ! BBQ in chat. Use code Cast and Camo in all caps to get 15% off your order. That's Cast and Camo in all caps for 15% off. Texas Select Seasoning. And then last but not least, it's deer hunting season. We got Deer 30 on our side. ! Deer 30 in our chat. And you can use Cast and Camo 24 to get how much off, Eric?
24%. That's why the 24 going to end.
I am aware. Yeah. I'm excited for New Year's Eve. You know why? Because I'm going to send Damon a message like at 12:01 and say our discount goes up to 25% now, right?
Yes, it does.
It should. I think progressively, it should go up 1% a year. So that gives us 76 years to get to completely free product from our show.
Are you going to make 76 years?
76 more?
Yeah.
I'm not counting on making 76 total.
Okay.
Yeah, I figure I got a good 5 to 7 more years.
What are you now, about 57, 58?
Wow. If you must know, I turned 45 in less than a month.
Wow. You're going to be old.
No, I'm not going to be. I already am. I feel it.
Yeah.
Any type of physical activity and physical labor, my body is My dogs are barking by the end of the day. Tell you
Really?
what. Yeah. That's right. But those are our sponsors. Last week, we talked about nonsense. Literally. Sense. Sense and nonsense. That's what we talked about. Because we're getting close to hunting season. And I really enjoyed that conversation because I think I've always subconsciously knew, but I loved the point that you brought up a number of times. Do we really need all of those things, scents and desensitizers and all of that stuff? Or is that just a marketing gimmick to help a company make money? And I that was kind of like, like I said, I always kind of knew that, but I didn't know that. Like I never thought about it in that light necessarily. And it kind of made me depressed. So thanks for depressing me.
Well, I'm trying to. Do you know what? You know what we're going to talk about tonight, by any chance?
Well, that's a good segue, isn't it?
Yes.
It is a good segue. Tonight, we're going to talk about the costs of our hobbies of hunting and fishing. So if anybody out there has a hobby of hunting and fishing and you don't want to be depressed, please leave now.
I am depressed right now. I'm physically, mentally depressed.
It sucks because you try to not think about the costs, right? You do.
That's exactly. And this year was my first time, of course, you know it, to go carp fishing.
Yep.
I actually got in a couple of tournaments this year, got involved with it, bought a couple rods and reels and fishing line, and went and bought 25,000 bottles of panko and 45,000 pounds of rolled oats. And I think I had more Jello this year than I've ever. I thought I had Jello right here in my belly, but
well, now you just have more. I
got a lot of Jello. Yeah. And the using of the brown sugar, the corn, the sweet corn. And the more I'm thinking about it, I'm like, well, we got a farm down here with millions of bushel of corn. Why the hell ain't I using that instead of the corn that I'm going to the store and buying? But it's easier to buy the can of corn at the store. You know what I mean? Well, it's more expensive, but it's easier. Then I don't have to drive down to the farm and get a bucket of corn, bring it home and boil it and stink up the house for 5 hours. And, I don't know.
I have a solution. I have a solution for you. What if you got one of those little propane burners and a big old pot? Yeah. And you bring that down to the farm and you just load water into the pot, fire up the propane, boil it right there outside.
And that would be better. That's a good idea. But I don't have a burner yet. Now you want me to spend more money for carp fishing?
Yeah.
All right. So right now I can tell you exactly. I added it up here just a little bit ago.
Okay.
I went to my Amazon account.
Oh boy.
All right. I went to my Amazon account and then I figured out how much corn I bought and Jello.
Yep.
Approximately. I'm not 100% on this, but I bet I'm within a couple boxes or a couple cans.
Mm-hmm.
This year, I have spent $700 on carp fishing.
You know what that sounds like to me? $700 of write-offs.
Well, of course it's write-offs, but what I'm saying is that's how much it costs just to go after one species of fish. I already had all my catfish and stuff.
Yeah.
But this was just one species, and I'm not bitching about it, but because that's what I wanted to do, and I enjoy it. But I mean, there's just a cost to show you what you spend. Just unbelievable. What now? Next year, it ain't going to cost me half of that because I don't need the reels, the rods. I don't need the scales. I don't need I may have a net. I may have to buy a couple nets. I went through nets like my underwear. No, let's not talk about my underwear.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought those had holes and brown streaks in them, and
No, they're brand new. You leave my underwear out of this.
Oh.
So anyway,
it's not what Pam tells me. But go on.
now wait a minute, Ozzy. You call me a rookie, huh? Ozzy, I didn't have to spend 40,000 this year like you did. I mean, I didn't cast my fishing pole holder out into the lake. Just all kidding aside, that is, the more you sit back and think about it. Now, that wasn't all spent at one time. That was
over the course of
until I just bought that net.
Yeah,
that net was the last thing I bought. So, I mean, it seems wild when you actually sit down and figure out what you spend. Now, next year, I'm hoping I only spend like $100 on carp fishing, or $150, and I may start boiling my own corn and making my own corn to do it. We'll see what that turns out to be. And I know a lot of people are sitting in here saying, well, there's a lot of work to that. Well, when you're retired, it's kind of fun to have other things to do when there's nothing else going on. But
yeah, and kind of high level on our topic, whether it's fishing or hunting, we all love. We do it, and this is kind of we'll come full circle by the end, but we do it because we love hunting. We do it because we love fishing and being outdoors.
Yeah. Right.
So we it's a hobby that you're gonna have to put money into, but there's so many options, and to get started is always so damn expensive.
Sure.
People ask all the time, well, how much would it cost me if I wanted to start bow hunting? How much is it going to cost me? And it's like, you sit down and you think about it, and you're going, I mean, it depends, right? Like, that's the obvious answer. Well, it depends. And not the kind that Chief wears or Eric wears, but it depends on the circumstances. What kind of bow are you going to want? You're going to want a compound. You're going to want this brand. You're going to want this fancy one. You want a but average, if you think about it, and I'm just thinking off the top of my head, average cost of startup bow hunting, $2,000 to $3,000.
Yeah,
that's just a startup. Now, obviously, like you said, next year you don't have to buy the bow or the crossbow, or you might have to buy some new bolts or arrows.
Right.
So most of the cost is up front, but there's still intangible costs that come along with that later on, which is kind of the whole point of our discussion tonight, of sitting down and actually thinking about this.
So the thing of it is, too, that we don't all think about is, even though it cost me $700, I probably spent close to $2,200 to $2,300 carp fishing. For my driving that I did in fuel was amazing. Every time I went down to Barren Lakes, I've been down there 7 times this year. All right, 6 of the times was during the tournament. The 7th one's when me and Ryan went down and spent the weekend down there.
Yep.
So out of that was $70 to $80 in fuel every time I went down. Just on that. Shut up, Joker.
It does play. The gas does play a factor. And you're retired, but for me, the time plays a factor. The time is money for me. If I'm going somewhere that's going to take me a while to get there, and I have to take a day off, that's a day off of work. I have to put a lot of time into just taking a day off of work just to get my things up to date, and then get caught up when you get back. And it's almost more of a hassle to take days off than it is to not. But
I mean, I know there's other people in this chat room right now that spent a good bit of money in fuel this year, carp fishing.
Oh, for sure.
Or cat fishing, for that matter.
Well, now, okay, so let's get back organized. So the general topic is, how much are we actually spending? Let's balance our hunting and fishing checkbooks. Even though we don't want to, nobody ever wants to balance their checkbook. But we're gonna attempt, and ultimately, is it worth it? Right? That's the bottom line question. And I would say, we would all say, all of us that have these hobbies outdoors, we will say, yes, it's worth it because we love it. That's right. That's why we do it. But you hear people all the time say, and I know you're going to bring it. Let's talk hunting. Let's start with hunting. So you've got, JV says, I want to make sure my wife's not watching this, right? Exactly.
100%.
Yeah. Jen, shut it off. Turn it off.
Turn it off.
Go make some meatloaf.
Yeah, that's right. Make me low.
But you've got, like we said, the bow, crossbow, the gun, bolts, arrows, ammo. Now you got to get clothes. And if you're going to hunt in the early fall, you need cool camo that's going to not make you melt. If you're going to hunt all the seasons, now you need cool weather or hot weather. You need cold weather. You need medium weather. You need camo. You need orange, blaze orange. You need white camo for Minnesota if you want. So it's like everywhere you turn, there's another thing to buy. And it gets now you got boots. Now you need warm boots. Now you need boots,
All right,
hiking boots.
let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Right
Mhm.
now, you walked into a Cabela's or a Bass Pro.
Yep.
Could you leave without buying something for fishing or hunting?
Oh, that's a trick question. Yeah, my ass isn't quite as tight as some other people's that we won't mention names, but yeah, I unless you go shopping with Buzzard at Cabela's, you're not walking out of there without spending something.
Well, and that's my point. The last time that we went down to Barron Lake, we stopped at Cabela's on the way back. And
Mhm.
guess what? There I am in there, and I buy a couple things, and Ryan's looking at me like, Dad, I thought we was just stopping to look at stuff. And I said, when can we ever go here without spending money?
It's like Target. You can't go into Target without walking out with a $300 tab.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But all right, so just if you don't mind, Luna's being a pain in my butt right now. So in the United States,
Luna, leave your sister eat the bone. That sounded terrible.
this is ridiculous.
Yeah, she's struggling today.
Yeah, 14.5 billion hunters in the United States.
Well, hold up. I'm going to correct you. I think you're getting your two facts mixed up. 14.4 million, not billion.
Oh, million. Yeah, million. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Did I say billion? I was looking down.
Yeah.
14.5 million hunters in the United States as of 2022. Now, these numbers are only 2022.
Right.
I looked these up. All right.
I don't think that, but before you move on, I don't think that number has increased since 2022. I think it's probably decreased. Yeah.
Yes, it's probably dropped.
Yep.
Because in 1960, there was a little over 17 million hunters in the United States. In 1960, and we have dropped, slowly declined every year since then. So, like right now, and you know what they blame it on? Video games and getting older. And the kids are spending more time in the homes playing video games on computers, and they're not interested in the hunting anymore. But anyway, out of that 14.5 billion or million, shoot, 45.2 billion. This is where I'm getting the billion.
Yep.
$45.2 billion are spent on just hunting, not fishing, just hunting.
Yeah. And that's crazy.
That averages out to $3,150 per person. And that's an average. Now that changes. I know it does, and there's going to be people in here and say, "I've never spent $3," but it may be Vexus decides to go moose hunting in Alaska, and it cost him $30,000 this year to go on his moose hunt. Me neither. But the average for that amount of hunters runs about $3,150. it seems like a ton of money spent on hunting. But for you to start out hunting, they're averaging, if you're going to go deer hunting, they're averaging around $1,000 to $1,200 per person to start you out to deer hunt. Getting your hunting license, your clothes, whatever else you're buying, your scents, your doe pee, your calls, it just, there's a lot involved in this.
Your blinds, your trees, your deer stands, your decoys, binos, scopes, licenses, waders. Because it's not just deer, right? Like when we're talking hunting, or well, let me ask: is your numbers that you're giving, is that hunting in general overall, or is that specifically deer hunting?
Goes deer hunting.
Hunting.
Now the general specific for what I was looking at, it's small game. Was I can't remember right now. I think it was like $600 or $700 if you're going to go out, maybe small game hunting. You're going to get a cheaper shotgun. You're going to spend. Now let's look. The average hunting license, like here in Kentucky, it's going to cost you around $90 to $100 if you want all your tags, your turkey tags, everything, your deer tags, the whole 9 yards. That includes your fishing too. That's a combination with your fishing and hunting. Now, normally a resident fishing license, an average of about $21 to $23 in every state if you're a resident and you just want a fishing license. So that is an average. I know there's states, just like I said, Illinois is the cheapest state that I have found with a non-resident fishing license. And that's, online it's $35. If I went over there, it would have cost me like $30.50 if I would have bought them in a store.
Right.
So, so most of your resident places are only going to cost you $25 or so. Shut up, Joker. Night, he just like,
he woke up and chose ornery today,
like a sore rib or something. You got to get rid of it. Yeah,
he's had that little stick in his hand. He just poke.
Yep, he's got a poke. But anyway,
I think we should spend billions of dollars on eradicating Joker instead of Asian carp. That's what I think.
Well, wait a minute. Now, why are you eradicating a perfect fish?
I don't know. That's off topic. That's for another week.
I was speaking about Joker, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah, eradicating. But anyway.
So that's just deer hunting. That blows my mind because now you think turkey hunting. I would think turkey hunting's got to be up there. Turkey hunting is crazy. The amount of money people spend on turkey hunting between the guns, the camo, the calls, the decoys alone.
Yeah, but what do you think? What do you think the top going rate is for hunting on spending money per person? Per person on spending on a specific targeted bird or animal.
Per year?
Yep.
The most.
And it makes the most money, too, for an industry.
Duck hunting?
Yep, duck and geese.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense because there's 8 trillion ducks. And the people freaking love duck hunting. I am not a duck hunter. I don't like it.
They spend major money in duck and goose hunting.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you come down here to where I live and go down here on the farms, there is basements built underground with refrigerators, stoves, TVs, generators. It's like living in a freaking house. They got sliding doors on top of their heads that they slide open and stick out and shoot. They got heaters in there. They're sitting in there in their underwear, duck and goose hunting. And then they send out the poor Labrador to go pick up the duck or goose.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's insane.
What's a decoy cost? One decoy.
$40-$50 probably?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea.
hundreds of them out there in the field that they've got.
Yep.
They got ones now with their wings flapping, and I mean, their heads bobbing, and
Yeah, I think you can buy some with remotes too. Like, okay, now it's gonna go. It's gonna do that the woodcock dance.
right. Yeah, it's just
Better
it's
hide.
crazy.
Better hide Pam. I'm doing the woodcock dance.
That's right. Don't
No.
that. First of all, that ain't a woodcock dance. You gotta
Well, yeah, I'm sitting down. There's no pelvic thrusting going on there.
stand up and show us.
No.
Baxus.
No.
Come on, Baxus.
No.
Joker wants to see it. Buzz wants to see it.
No, nobody wants to see it.
Oh,
We're talking about money, first of all. But you're correct. So this is kind of where we'll go with each of these. Let's start. Well, to me, duck hunting isn't my thing, and I wouldn't spend all the money that people spend on duck hunting because I don't particularly care for it, and I don't particularly care for the taste of ducks, which is why I don't hunt them. I don't want to necessarily shoot things that I'm not going to eat, and I don't really want to eat ducks. But let's just pretend for a second that we're both duck hunters, okay? And we've got one of those fancy blinds, and if we put the time and the effort and the money into building this blind, we've got all the gear, the decoys, the dog, the training of the dog, that all plays into it.
right.
The waiters, like all, and we have everything. And let's just say we have spent $2,000 a piece, just hypothetical.
All right, got it.
And we go out 3 weekends in a row and we shoot our limit of ducks. I don't even know what that is. Is it 3 a person, 5 a person? Let's just say it's 5. Let's pretend it's 5 per person. We don't condone shooting 5 ducks if the limit is only 3. Let's just pretend in our hypothetical world, the limit is 5 per person. So you and I were heterosexual life mates. We lived together. We spent $2,000 each. We get our limit of ducks. So let's say we have 25 ducks each, and that's 50 ducks.
Okay.
$4,000 equates to 50 ducks. How much meat are we getting out of those 50 ducks? So how much are we paying per pound of duck meat?
About $700 a pound.
Right. And that's where the depression starts to set in as an outdoors person. And when you start to think about that, you're going, where did I make my decisions poorly? Because I could have just went to the nice restaurant down the road that's got duck a la king or whatever.
Yeah, but what about these fishermen? What about these carp fishermen that are in here? They don't even take them home and eat.
No. Right.
They get nothing back for the return that or the money that they put into it. And it's all because we enjoy it. I mean,
correct.
I probably pay $30 a pound for my deer meat.
Yeah.
Every year. $25 to $30 a pound for my deer meat. At least.
Yep. Samesies. And that's processing it ourselves.
Exactly.
Yeah, because you still have to buy the pork to mix it. You got to buy the seasonings. Now you got to find now you got to buy the grinder, the stuffer. If you get super fancy, the mixer, the casings, the cure. It all costs money, which you don't go into a deer hunt saying, I'm going to do this as a cost-effective manner to produce food for me and my family. It can't.
Unless you live there in your house and you shoot one out the window or off your porch and drag it in and cut it up. A whole different ballgame.
Well, yes. I mean, there are obviously variables that could work depending on location. Right. And if I go out deer hunting on September 14th, which is the opening bow season here in Minnesota, and I shoot one first day, I just saved myself a lot of money. Right.
Okay.
But I also possibly am missing out on a lot of hunting.
Right.
Which when I'm sitting in my stand, like last year when I was streaming from my stand and I had that 8 or 9 point buck come out right in front of me, and it was 5 feet in front of me. It was sniffing my shoes, my boots. I could have shot that buck, but what am I going to do for the rest of the year? Ice fishing doesn't start until December. The hell am I going to do then?
Well, the other thing is, Maximus, that's not what I was talking about. Going cheap by sausage, not adding pork. The cost of that deer is what we spend in hunting and our scents and all that stuff and gasoline, driving to and from hunting. I'm not talking about whether we grind it up and stuff like that with sausage and adding pork or all that. That has nothing to do with it. It's costing me about $23 per pound every year if I kill one deer. So if I get 60 pounds of edible meat out of a deer, and that's about the average, 60 to 70 pounds, it's going to cost you around $25, $23, something like that. Has nothing to do with what you put in the meat. I'm not worried about that. It's just what it costs us in gasoline, our clothes, our guns, all that stuff divvied up. Because if I go buy an $800 gun this year, and I use that $800 this year, I'm going to be paying $55 a pound for that meat. So.
And again, that's where the depression starts to set in, and you're thinking to yourself sometimes, like, the hell am I doing? Like we were saying earlier, I could have went. No, we can't say that anymore nowadays. But the last 10 years, you look at it and be like, I could have went and bought a half a cow.
Yeah.
Processed, and I would have saved myself a lot of money and time. But that's not really the goal. So the kickback is the enjoyment, the camaraderie, who you go hunting with, the memories.
Yeah.
And it's just money. I just take out another loan from you.
No, you can't do that. I'm broke.
Well, I thought you adopted me too.
No. God, look what Sarah's costing me.
Yeah. Well, Sarah's a girl.
Yeah, I know. And they cost more money than a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're simple.
Yeah. Real simple.
Not really.
And that's true. This is average's Joker.
Yeah, we're not.
And I know there's people in here that probably, go out in their blue jeans and throw on an orange vest and orange hat, and it ain't going to cost them. They've had that gun from their granddad's grandmother's aunt, uncle that they were related to back in 1692, and they go out and shoot a deer with it. Their price is going to be a whole lot cheaper. I'm just giving as an average of what we spend today. And I'm probably close to that $1,500 mark a year. In hunting stuff.
I have an addiction. I have a couple addictions. One of them is buying deer stands. I continuously buy deer stands. Do I need them? No? Question mark? But to me, it's worth, Facebook Marketplace, exactly. That's my crack cocaine. Joker knows this. But to me, it's worth $120 or $100 for a new stand to put it somewhere where I can leave it if that's a spot I want to hunt. And then I have my other 4 stands that I have in the other 4 different spots. Right? Now, see, work smarter, not harder. Now I don't have to spend the energy and the time and sweat my ass off in all my hunting clothes and then get smelly. And now I need to go buy more product to take my smell out, to take the stand down, haul it to a different spot, and put it up and clank, 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 deer run off. So it's worth that $100 investment. And no matter what, this year I'm not buying any more deer stands. What do? I buy another deer stand because I see another spot. I'm like, ooh, I only can use this type of stand in that spot. I don't have that one. I should hunt that spot.
So do you ever buy one of them buddy stands and big buddy stands that is a double person stand? Have you ever put one of them up yet?
Yeah. I don't have one. I used to. I don't have it anymore. On the land that I hunt on, I think we have two person stands up. They're a bitch.
Oh, I'm going to tell you right now, me and Ryan both have almost killed ourselves both times. Them kind of stands up. They're nuts.
Yeah.
You need at least 3 or 4 people to help put them up.
But adding the cost of that additional stand every year, to me, I would say that's abnormal. Not every hunter is going to do that. Actually, probably most people aren't going to do that. Some will. Some people are chronic buyers, and it doesn't matter that they have 7 rifles for deer hunting. They see one they like, they're going to go buy another rifle. Now they have 8. That's not how I am. I try to use as many seasons as I can. And going back to what you're saying about your licenses in Kentucky, it varies by state. So here, that's not at all how it works in Minnesota. I mean, we have to buy, if you want an archery hunt, you have to buy an archery license, which is $35-$40.
Right.
That season goes from September 14th through first weekend in November. Then it's gun season. Now you have to go buy a gun license, which lasts for 2 weeks or 14 days or whatever. Then a week later, it's muzzleloader season. Now, if you want to go hunt muzzleloader, you got to buy another muzzleloader license. So just deer hunting alone, if you're going to hunt all 3 seasons, you're buying 3 different licenses. So I think you said $90-ish in Kentucky.
Yeah.
We're probably over that in total. And then you got to buy the bonus tags. If you want to shoot 2 or 3 or 4 deer, if you're in a zone here that you can take more than 1 deer, now you got to buy the bonus tags. Now those are pretty cheap. They're like $6 or $8. Not a big deal.
Yeah.
But shit adds up fast.
So we're allowed 4 deer. I'm allowed 3 does and a buck here with my regular tag that I buy. And every 2 deer after that is costing me $12.50 for the extra tag. So, but that's you can keep buying as many as you want, which I don't think anyone does, but that would be a lot of deer.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. But.
Yeah, I mean, so you figure in your fuel cost, your cost for your license every year. Just in them 2 things, you figure. I drive down to the farm probably every day. I'm going to say in a week's time, I probably spend close to $70 in gasoline driving back and forth down to the farm. At least $70. So we'll just say I spend $170 during the 2 weeks of deer season just in fuel. And then you're $100 in gasoline. So now you're already, $250, $270 right there. And that's not buying any spray or I have to buy a new blind, or your tree stand breaks or snaps and you got to go buy another one. None of that stuff's even accounted in there.
Correct. Right.
So now we'll just say it's $270, and you add that into per pound of 60 pounds of deer meat. It's adding up real quick.
It adds up quick, man.
We do not do it because we worry about the cost of what it costs us for the deer. We do it because we enjoy it and love to hunt and fish or whatever you want to do. If you're smart, you marry a farmer's daughter, and then you never have to go get a lease from a farm.
I was just going to say, JB brings up a good point in chat, which we haven't talked about.
Right.
And again, that depends on your location. In Minnesota, we have a ton of public land to hunt, and it's good land to hunt. Iowa, there's a ton of good public land to hunt, but not every state has public land to hunt. So now you have to find somebody that has an open lease, or is willing to lease, and now you got to pay for that lease.
Well,
I can do the same thing here, but why would I? I mean, I have access to private property.
Have public land. It's probably so crowded, and I've seen that up around Pittsburgh, the public deer hunting land. There is so I wouldn't even be caught dead walking in the woods there to deer hunt. It's just you see nothing but orange everywhere.
Yeah.
Where you're real high population. So yeah,
it's one of those situations where you're sitting in your deer stand and you fart, and the other guy says, "Excuse me."
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
That's never fun.
No. But that's the cost, and what he's saying there, I can tell you right now, there is 500 acres right next to our farm that came up for lease last year. On the east side of our farm, 500 acres. I called the guy, just screwing around. What do you think he would lease that to me? And he knows me. What do you think he was going to lease that to me for?
500 acres for the year.
Yeah, for deer.
Just for deer hunting?
Yes, sir.
5,000.
It was 5,500. Holy shit, you hit it almost on the head. $5,500 is what he wanted for it.
I could see like 500 acres is a lot, right? So overall, if you had a group of 10 guys that was going to go religiously, that's $1,000 a piece. That's for me. I would be like,
yeah,
a year, $1,000 a year just to go deer hunting. Now, if I had access to that 500 acres all year round, and I could go grouse hunting or quail hunting or dove hunting or turkey hunting, like if I had access, then $1,000 per year per person is more doable, right?
Well, the other thing with this farmer, now not all of them are like that here, that do leases. There's a few that do leases here, but on that farmer, he tells you that he doesn't want tree stands, the hanging tree stands, in certain places in them woods. And he hunts there also. So if you're leasing it from him and his boy's going to be hunting there also.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but that's how some of these guys are. I mean, and people lease that every year, that piece of property. I see guys over, and they're driving around in their trucks around the field all day long during deer season, hanging in the back of the truck with the right. I hope he didn't spill that.
I just spilled it. Give me a minute. Keep talking. Keep talking.
$10 an acre is pretty common. Yes, it is. I mean, most of these places, and then when you do lease it, they don't want you to plant nothing for the deer. Some of these farmers don't want to. If they would take a little bit of time and look at it, if they would plant some type of greenery for the deer, like alfalfa or something for the deer, they wouldn't bother their cornfields or the bean fields as much, because they would be into them kind of fields more than they would the corn and the soybeans. But they don't want to hear that. They don't want you to do that. But there is some farms that do it. They let you do it. They're pretty cool about it. And you can get a whole year permit to hunt on their places and lease it. But this one farmer next to us, he charges out the rear end, and it's just for deer season. So it makes it kind of rough. And when you're done hunting after deer season, you got to take your tree stands off the property. You can't leave them there till next year. And he'll only do a 1-year lease too with you, which makes it really hard. But no, I mean, I don't. How many acres did you used to lease, KB? If you don't mind me asking, did you have more than 100 acres that you leased, or was this just?
Crisis averted.
I was just asking JB how many acres that he leased when he was leasing property to hunt from, whether he got 100 acres or 50 acres, because you really don't need that much for one or two people to hunt them.
No, you don't. But the key is like what JB's saying, even for mediocre land. And like a lot of times you'll find land, let's just use your example, 500 acres. Yeah. Well, not all 500 acres are good hunting land. There might be lowland, swamp, right? I mean, so yeah, you're getting 500 acres, but what's the huntable acreage?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we've obviously, kind of to recap, for me, it's an easier pill to swallow with big game because you're getting more meat. You might be spending more money, maybe not, but you're at least getting more meat, more ROI. Fishing is a whole new, different ball of wax. Depending on what you're doing, if you're going through this now, you've been shopping for a boat. That boat's going to cost money, and the upkeep is going to cost money, and the gas costs money to put in the boat, to haul the boat, depending on where you're going. Rods, reels, lures, equipment, tackle boxes, sunscreen, which we never wear, clothes to keep you dry, and
I thought that was a shot at me.
What?
Tick repellent.
Tick repellent, yeah. Mosquito spray. Now add in that's just summer fishing. Add in ice fishing. Now you got to buy an ice house, an auger. If you're gonna go spearing, you need a spear. You need decoys. You always need bait.
What's an auger run right now that has a little motor on it? I have no idea. I haven't looked at augers in 30 years.
Yeah, you can get an auger, like a gas auger, for probably $300-400, but that's not, the gas auger is not where most are going now. Now it went from gas to propane augers, which I had one, a Jiffy propane auger. It's a clean burn, so you're not dealing with the carburetor. But they are heavy AF and clunky to haul around. And
I just wondered. I mean,
but the electric, the battery powered, the battery powered augers are probably $600 to $700. I'm guessing. I haven't shopped for them, but yeah, $600 or $700. Fish finders, and fish finder, you can get one from what, probably $7 or $70, like a bare bones, maybe $100.
I don't know.
$100 is probably the lowest.
Like $100 is the lowest. That's so cheap.
It's really, you might as well just do one of these. Exactly. Fish are biting over there. But yeah, anywhere from $100 to $4,000.
Now, if you're gonna just want to know the depth of the water, that $100 one's what you need.
Oh yeah, it's fine.
What you need. But if you're gonna try to find fish and structure, you better be planning on spending $500, $700, $800 to $2,000, $3,000. I mean, they're expensive.
And cheap.
Yeah.
And bait. I mean, every time you go fishing in the summer or the winter, you either making bait, which, like you said, Jello and oats and your special ingredients that we're not going to disclose.
Well, if you don't go out and catch skipjack or shad, one skipjack's costing you $7 to $8 a piece right now at a bait store here.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, and they're only like 14 inches long. And they're costing you $7 to $8 a piece. It's nuts.
That's insane.
I don't know. I've never seen that. The price of skipjack and shad. Like shad, you can get usually like 3 shad in a bag, a vacuum sealed bag at the bait store. and it's costing you about $5 to $6 just for that.
Is that why you only have one child in the house, Joker? You had to give up your firstborn just for sucker minnows?
What does sucker? I haven't bought live bait in a store for a long time. What suckers cost right now?
Probably less for us up here. I don't know. I could probably go into the bait shop that I go into and get a half a dozen sucker minnows for
but how
12,
big
15
are
bucks.
they? How big are they though?
Well, they usually will offer different sizes. You can get the small, medium, large, or decoy size.
So your large ones or your decoys?
They're probably $4 a piece, $4 or $5 a piece.
Yeah. I mean, there you go. You're paying almost what I'm paying for a dead skipjack.
Yeah, yours is dead.
Yeah.
Joker had 6 kids, but had to trade him just to go muskie fishing. Muskie fishing is a completely different universe. When it's, to me, I almost equate muskie fishing to saltwater, like big game saltwater fishing. When one freaking lure costs you $60, I'm afraid to throw that lure.
Yeah.
For God's sakes, I'm not that good at tying knots. Why would I want to trust myself tying a knot onto a $60 bill to have something with giant sharp teeth bite it? It just seems ludicrous.
Well, I was just, Cheryl just brought up a thing. I had this up a little bit ago, Cheryl, and they claimed fly fishing is just expensive as anything. Fly fishermen, unless they're tying their own flies, a whole different ballgame. But flies cost pretty good too. To get good flies, a good fly rod. I mean, look, if there is people that make poles that tell me I can buy them cheaper at Walmart than they can even buy and even get started on a rod. So,
really?
Yeah. I mean, like that catfish rod that I got was $19. I asked PB about making that rod. He said, Eric, I can't even get that rod and that blank and get set up and even come close to that price. So, and it makes it rough on everyone.
Yeah, and Sarah's brain is going where mine was. Even if you're tying your flies, and this is same thing with ammo. Ammo is very expensive, and it's getting more expensive as it goes. You can reload your own and make your own ammo, but you need to buy the black powder and all the brass or recycle the brass. Like either way, you got to get the brass.
Right.
And all of that stuff just to make your ammo is going to cost you probably $3,000 to $4,000. Now that is a long-term investment of rate of return. Like you're eventually going to pay that by itself after, if you shoot enough, right? That's the trade-off there. If you're shooting that much ammo, it'll be worth it in 2-3 years to make your own ammo. Same thing with flies. It's obviously probably not quite as expensive as ammo, and I don't know the first thing about what you all need to tie flies, but I mean, I've watched PB. It's his magic fingers on those flies. It's amazing what he does.
I can't do it. I mean,
no, I couldn't do it.
There is no way I can do it. I actually enjoy watching someone do that, and he can do it because he's been doing it for a while. He can do it pretty fast. I mean, I've seen him make them, like when he made them ants. I thought that was the neatest thing in the world, making them ants that he made.
Yeah, that's cool as hell. But you got to. It's going to be cheaper. It's kind of like Sam's Club, right? Or Costco. If you're going to buy in bulk, it's going to be cheaper. So if you're going to get stuff to make things, it's going to be cheaper than going and buying that fly. But the time and practice and the equipment to do all of that, there's a cost to it. It's not all free by any shot.
So going back to deer hunting, so if you go rabbit hunting, and we'll just say you're starting out as a brand new hunter and you're going to rabbit hunt and squirrel, you're going to pay anywhere from $150 to $300 for just an average shotgun. Not a Benelli, none of that stuff.
Oh.
And do you need all the hunting gear? And like I was thinking, if I'm going to be rabbit hunting, I want a good pair of pants. You are going to rip the crap out of your jeans getting in briars. Plus, you're going to have briars all through your legs. So you need the brush guard front pants to be rabbit hunting. Now you need a good dog, a rabbit dog, or you're just going to be jumping rabbits and not knowing it 90% of the time. So now you got the cost of the dog and the feeding the dog, the pen to put in the back of the truck to keep the dog in while you go hunting. I mean, this whole thing actually really starts to add up if you think about it.
It all does. And that's the trick. Like, everything is different. So it's almost like you have to, like, going back to Cheryl's point about fly fishing. I've gone fly fishing once in my life, and it was a freaking blast. I absolutely loved it. But I refuse to let myself like it so much that I want to start doing it, because I know if I do, that's a few Benjamins.
I wish I had places to fly fish here. I don't have no trout here. I would love to get back. And I used to fly fish all the time. Yeah, but I mean, then where am I going to go?
I don't know.
I'm going to have to go clear up up towards the lakes to fly fish.
Wisconsin, Michigan, Minnesota, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Ohio. Is there fly fishing in Ohio? Probably. I would assume so.
Yeah, if you're fishing out of the rivers coming out of the lake. Yeah. For salmon, coho.
There's not like trout in the creeks or rivers there?
I don't know. I'm sure Ohio probably has a trout stocking program, but it's not really huge like it is in Pennsylvania or in the mountains in West Virginia or Tennessee or out west in some of the streams that they put them in. I'm sure they have a trout stocking program, but I don't know of any streams in Ohio that carry wild brook trout. Up in northern Ohio against Lake Erie. But that's about it.
And even with fly fishing, if I wanted to go fly fishing for a day, I could probably go on Amazon and get a fly rod. Nothing fancy, nothing expensive. And I could go get a few flies and I could go fly fishing. I have waders already. So would it cost me that much to go fly fishing? No. But if it's going to be a sustained hobby, we all know how that works, which is you're not going to get a $20 fly. Yep.
You're going to have to get all the little packs that you put in your pockets to hold your flies in. And it just gets outrageous.
Yeah. Which is why I refuse to let myself even think about liking fly fishing, even though I know I would enjoy it very much. Yeah. It's just another thing that I can't. I already have too many. It's like last year, the spring when we were going to go turkey hunting, and when I'm looking, I'm like, holy buckets! Just to go turkey hunting. God, I don't want to. That's a lot of money up front to buy just stuff for hunting one thing.
Yeah.
And so what you're really paying, you're not paying for that turkey meat. You're paying for the experience, the life experience, like I said, the memories, the fun. And like Sarah's saying, no matter what the hobby is, it's going to cost money, whether it's like she's saying, cooking, crafting, whatever it might be. It's going to cost money. Everything costs money. It's just the way it is.
Well, look at bass fishermen. How much money you think they put into it?
Way too much.
I'm going to tell you right now, most bass fishermen that I used to know had so many freaking lures. And it was nuts how much they buy, because you talk about me walking into a Cabela store and not leaving without buying something. You can't take a good bass fisherman into a store that he ain't going to come out with something for bass. I mean, I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, well, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It's unreal what I see bass fishermen. The one guy that I read here tonight, a story on him bass fishing, he has 40 bags of lures and rubber
Plastic worms and baits.
worms and that.
Mhm.
He has 40 tackle boxes. And he's like, do I need that? No, but I can't walk into a store without walking. Been my problem the whole time. He said, I don't know what I've spent on gear, but it is ridiculous.
The power of marketing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's bonkers, and it works. It works on all of us. Even though we don't want it to work on us, it still works on us.
And everyone has a lure that works better than everyone else, or a rubber worm or whatever. Mine is better. It works better. I don't know if you guys remember back in the 90s when they come out with that one lure for bass that was on every TV commercial. What the heck was the name? Can someone help me in chat?
I know what you're talking about, but I will not come up with a name.
The guy said, this is the new thing for bass. It just catches every bass. But it'll change the industry in bass fishing. Banjo minnow.
Yeah, the banjo minnow. Yep.
Yeah, banjo minnow.
Helicopter. No, I have pants on.
I'll never, ever forget that banjo minnow coming out, because everyone I knew that bass fished ordered that damn thing on TV.
But just wait. Call in the next 5 minutes and we'll send you an extra 8-pack.
Yeah. Look, they didn't give you an 8-pack. You got 1 or 2. That was it. That banjo minnow was the new world stopping bass in the whole world. I mean, that was
going to catch everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that was crazy.
And if you think about like the fish, I didn't even think about this, but the point that you made earlier with the carp and the catfishing, like not everybody, some people keep the carp and some people keep the catfish, and there's nothing wrong with that. But right. I would say for the most part, it's a sport fishing. And like me, I don't keep fish that often. Not because I don't like fish. I love fish, right. But I'm the only one that eats it. So I'm not going to bring home a bunch of fish that's going to sit in my freezer. That to me, I'd rather just catch it again some other day. So catch and release. I'm a catch and release guy. I spend way too much money going fishing to come home with no fish to eat. And people look at me and they think I'm bonkers. Why would you do that? Because I love being on the water and I love catching the fish and I love that interaction. I love just being out there. That's my passion.
Do you mow your own grass?
Yeah.
All right. So do you got a 0-turn?
No, I have a pushing mower. Are you kidding me?
All right. So here's the thing. Look, my son went and bought a 0-turn. Had that. Everyone else had it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
I go to Lowe's and buy their cheapest tractor. A 16 horsepower riding lawnmower. I didn't go get that, and I'm looking over here, and it's like $5,000 for this 0-turn. This one's $999. $5,000, $999. Guess what I went home with? $999. I ain't going home with that $5,000. I don't, and it cuts the same grass as that one does.
Yeah, it's still blades.
Yeah, it's the same thing in fishing. You can either go buy a brand new boat or a used boat. You can go out and get 2 fishing rods instead of 4. I mean, the whole thing is like, do we need that 0-turn to cut our grass? No. Do we need that $500 fishing reel to catch that fish? No. You don't need that.
My old neighbor, we're still friends. he is not a fisher person at all. He does. I mean, he'll go, but he doesn't have anything to go fishing. He doesn't it just doesn't fish, but he'll go with me if I were to ask. He has been one of them that has religiously questioned me of why do you go fishing? You have this nice boat and you go to this lake and you drive there and you go fishing all day or all weekend. And you come back and you didn't keep anything, but you caught them. Why? That makes no sense. And I look at him and I say, you went golfing twice yesterday. That was 8 hours.
Yeah.
$80 a round plus beers. You spent just as much as I did yesterday.
Yeah.
And you came home with what? A buzz?
Exactly right. Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean,
and more depression because you probably shot a 94 when you're trying to shoot a 78. Like now you're pissed off the rest of the day. I was outside sitting down and enjoying myself at least.
And that's the thing with fishing or hunting. I actually really enjoy being out there, fishing and hunting, relaxing. You know, if you stream, you got your stream pulled up, you're kind of BSing, joking, having fun. You're hearing all the birds and, you know, putting up with the corn flies and everything else out there and the sweat bees. I mean, what more could we ask for? It kind of is great. Soothing and feels great to do it.
Yes.
And, you know, I have a lot of people that say, what you're fishing? Why are you fishing? Don't forget the ducks.
Forget the ducks.
The only reason I laughed earlier is because this idiot in your channel put 8 mile an hour zero turn. Only he would say that his zero turn goes 8 mile an hour. I mean, what? I mean,
I don't think Joker's body has seen 8 miles an hour outside of a car ever.
Oh, is that right, JB?
So spent anything on fishing until he started streaming. It doesn't surprise me.
Well, yeah, and the bad part of it is, JB, I don't know how long you've been into fishing, but every year that price is going to keep going up. Especially the way you guys enjoy it. Your cost is going to go up every year. So you might as well set a budget and tell Jen that you're putting a down payment on a new car for her, and it's going to take about 20 years before you can get it for her. And then take that money and put in your fishing. So she doesn't know what you're doing. Oh, honey,
hell yeah, $20 combo rod. Absolutely. I mean, and night crawling, you'd wake up in the morning before the sun even came up, go get your shovel and go dig up some worms. That was your bait for the day. You know, that was the old man. There's plenty of times where I got to tell you, and part of this, why this came up in my brain is spending this weekend working and last weekend and this weekend working on my fish house. I'm putting money into this fish house that weighs way more than it should. And every time I'm adding something, I'm adding weight. And our winters have gotten progressively less severe. So we don't get 20 inches of ice.
We're going to see Bexes at the bottom of the lake.
No, because chances are that fish house is never going to see the freaking ice. But I continue to improve the fish house with the thinking that house is going to be on the lake and I'm going to be using it for fishing.
So is this fish house on wheels?
Yes.
It is. Okay. Yes. So you got it sitting on wheels right now.
Yeah, it's a crank down. It's a crank down wheelhouse. So yeah, it pulls. It's a trailer, and then when you get to the lake, you crank it down, and it goes down to the ice. Yep.
All right. I wasn't sure how that worked, but
yeah, I mean it's a homemade fish house and when I bought it, I think I paid $2,000 for it.
How much do you think it weighs right now?
I don't even want to speculate. I mean, it's a totally steel frame.
When you bought it? Do you know what it weighed when you bought it? No.
It probably doesn't weigh any much more now after I've renovated it from when I bought it. If anything, it probably weighs a little bit less because I've replaced some things with lighter.
I thought you were saying it weighed more because you keep doing work to it.
No, I mean, well, Yeah, because then I go, oh, you know what would be cool? I could put a fan up in the middle, and then I go get a fan. And now, I mean, even if it's 3 pounds, that's 3 pounds. Every time you add 3 pounds, right? You know.
Yeah.
But thinking about this last 2 weekends, I'm pumping money into this fish house that ultimately may end up being just a one-person camper for myself. And I'm going, what am I doing? What am I doing? And you go ice fishing, that's when it really hits you, because you're either on a four-wheeler or a snowmobile early season, and you're pulling a sled. And then you look back and you're like, that sled's carrying about $6,000 worth of gear between two people. And it hits you as far as how much you actually have spent on that hobby. And I just think, I'm glad I love it, because if I didn't love it, I wouldn't do that.
If you sold that fish house, realistic, right now, could you get what you put in it?
Yes.
You think you could?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, because usually that doesn't happen. You know, if you put all this money into stuff, it gets older, you redo it, and put more money into them. They're never worth what you got in it.
But
so
I bought it on the cheap too, because it needed to be renovated. So, I mean, we gutted the whole thing down to the studs, replaced some of the studs, new electrical, new everything, new walls, new ceiling, new floor.
Yeah.
And now new siding, new wheel, new tires. The tires alone were like $400 just with shipping.
Yeah, I could imagine.
And they're special. They're trailer house tires. So they're special.
Four tires on it?
No, just 2.
Oh, 2. All right.
Yep. It's a homemade fish house. It is not one of those $30,000 fish houses or more. You know, it's not Greg's. Greg's fish house is awesome, right? And that's if Greg was selling his fish house, which I hope I could someday buy. It ain't gonna happen anytime soon, but he could probably sell that for 15, maybe 16.
All right, so let me ask you a question. When's the last time, since we're talking a little bit about fishing, when's the last time you brought night crawlers for fishing?
Oh, recently.
Okay. How much did you pay for a dozen for?
Probably $7-8.
All right. I paid $4.99 the last time I bought a pack up here at the gas station. They sell them in them little coolers that they got. So $4.99 a dozen, and my cheap ass could have went out here in the yard. My yard is full of them.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this is what I'm getting at. We are living more of the lazy, and we can be blamed for a lot of this. It's the same way with the deer hunting. Do I need my tree stands? Do I need my deer feeders? Do I need my blind? No. I can go down there and sit on a log and kill a deer the same way. You know,
Correct.
But the comfort is I got a heater that I take down and put in my blind, and if it decides to get real cold, I can turn that heater on and be as nice and toasty and warm in there like I'm sitting at home.
Yeah.
You know, and I've never done that up until I got older.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think a lot of that has to do with age too.
The older you get, things change. I don't want to go out there and pick night crawlers, but you know what? After this show, do I feel like going out there in the yard and picking night crawlers? No. And it's easier to say, I'll do it tomorrow night. It's tomorrow night. It don't come. And then I got to stop at the store on the way fishing to grab a pack of night crawlers for $5.
Well, that's why, since you've got the Eric and Pam daycare going, you take those grandkids and you send them out there after the rain and say, I'll give you 50 cents for every dozen that you pick up.
There ain't one of my grandkids that would go out there and pick up a night crawler. They'd be going, ew, I gotta touch that.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like an experience then that they probably should.
Yeah,
experience.
we are spoiled the way we are today. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, me and my granddad, we knew we was going fishing the next day. We would be out there picking up night crawlers for an hour and a half and have
That's fun.
15, 20 dozen of night crawlers. And he used to complain. I remember him complaining, it's $1.50 a dozen. I'm not going to pay that. But when we can go out there and pick them up for free.
Yeah.
And here we are now. It's $5 or $7 a dozen where you're at. You know, what the heck are we doing?
Yeah, we're like you guys are saying, we become lazy. I do think it comes as we get older. For me, I think of it the same way as hunting. I've shot plenty of deer in my life. If I wake up and it's snowing or drizzling or it's 17 below, guess what my ass is doing? It's going back to sleep.
See, I won't. I'll be out there hunting. I do. It doesn't matter how cold it is. I'm be out there hunting. I've always been.
There's always the next day for me. Like, I'll go, but I'm not going to sit out there all day. Let's put it that way. I'll go and sit for an hour or 2 hours, but I'm not sitting out like all day. But when I was 18, 19, 20, 21, man, I remember days back in my day, we used to walk uphill both ways in the snow with no shoes, no boots. You know, when I was younger, I do remember going out deer hunting and getting back to the truck. We'd sit in our stands. And at that time, I didn't have a stand because I was the young kid. I sat on the ground.
Yep.
And we get back to the truck for lunch, and we've already been sitting out there for 6 hours, and the truck says -27. And I'm going, okay, let's warm up and let's get back out there. Nowadays, after 5 hours, I wouldn't be sitting out there for 5 hours in -27. I'd sit out there for a little while and be like, oh, hell no. I don't need a deer that bad.
I never came home for lunch when I was younger. Never.
Well, we didn't go home. We were driving out 45 minutes into the forest.
I would stay out there and eat in the woods. I'd have my lunch in my backpack and eat in the woods on my stand. Today, 9:30, my ass is in the truck coming up home and having Pam make me that big omelet and potatoes. Don't laugh at me. I mean,
make your own damn omelet.
I deserve. No, I call her on the way. Hey, babe, you want to have this?
She is too good to you.
Oh, yeah. Hell yes. So, I mean, it is like I've become really lazy with my hunting, and I don't walk to my stand. 99.9% of the time, it's brum, brum, brum. Drive down the field, pull in the weeds, get off and get in my stand. Walk 10 yards and get in my stand.
Mm-hmm.
I never did that before.
No, but you were younger and more spry and had more energy.
That's why she's leaving him. Oh, my Lord.
And you didn't have the financial freedom to have that ATV to bring you to your stand.
Yeah, well.
Things change over time.
But now, it's like I don't have to worry about another hunter being on top of me or anything. I can just come home. That deer will come past tomorrow or the next day. I know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because you have your freaking feeder there.
Don't worry about my feeder there,
well,
jealous.
I mean, they have appointments. They have reservations. Like, oh, it's Tuesday. The big buck, the 12-pointer doesn't have a reservation until Wednesday, so I'm not going to go out Tuesday.
See, the problem of it is no one moves our deer. Our deer are archery season, all through rifle season. There ain't no one out there moving the deer. It's me and my son, and that's it.
Yeah, and me this year.
Yeah, no. No,
Yeah.
I ain't putting you. Hell no. You ain't going to hunt over my feeder. Get the hell out. That's my feeder. So, no, all bullshitting aside, I've become very lazy at hunting from what I used to do. Yeah, and my back ain't great. My back's all messed up.
Yeah.
I can't do the things I used to do, but it's just like I don't know. I've become really lazy with it, and I need to be out there walking it. I need to.
JB, he didn't say he was taking me. I'm just going to show up with a Segway and a side by side, and I'm just like a side by side, like a racing side by side. I'm going to go whipping around those damn fields. So he can't say anymore. Nobody's moving our deer. Guess what? I'm moving your deer now, baby.
Wait a minute. When am I taking JB now? What the heck?
So how much do you shoot ammo?
We shoot. I probably shoot 100 rounds a year out of my 30-06. I enjoy shooting, going down, and I'll shoot from probably next month up until November 3 or 4 times just to go shoot.
So it wouldn't pay for you to get reloading equipment, is what you're saying?
No, hell no. And
what about Ryan?
A long time. No. When bullets were a little bit cheaper and powder and that, yeah, we did shoot quite a bit then. And I did reload quite a bit. Yeah. But that's been a long time ago.
So I don't know what a reloading equipment runs. I would guess $2 to $3 grand. That's my guess. I have no idea. But
that's what you said. I don't know. Really?
If it's, let's say it's $110 per shell, and you can make it or reload it or load it yourself for 30 cents a shell. I'm not good at math. So if you're saving, say, 80 cents per shell, how many rounds per year would it take you?
Pay that back off?
Yeah, to recoup that cost.
I don't know. But if I'm shooting 80 to 100 shells a year, I can tell you right now, it's not worth me going and buying a press and all the stuff to reload.
True. That's true. Yeah, if you're burnout, by all means, send me as much ammo as you want.
Yeah, I mean, we can put Federal in here as a sponsor. I can see them up there now.
Yeah, if Federal wants to sponsor Cast and Camo, let's talk. I'll take all the ammo you give me.
I think you lost, by the way. I think you need like 5. Wait a minute, like maybe 5,000 bullets per person. Maybe. We may think about it at that point.
I'd gladly shoot Federal ammo if I was getting it for nothing.
I'm telling you, loading, I bet you it costs quite a bit to buy all that stuff to start.
It has to. But at some point, if you're saving 80 cents, let's make it easy. Let's say $1. If you're saving $1 per shell, I don't know. Do the math. Somebody do the math. I'm not good at math.
30-06, 150 grain.
Yeah, what he said.
Yep.
Slugs. Do you make slugs? Do you guys Federal make slugs? Yeah, probably. Actually, I'm pretty sure they do. I know they do.
Yeah, Federal makes slugs. I think it would take me
150 grain?
Yeah, I shoot 150 grain soft point. Yeah.
I don't even remember anymore what I shoot.
Out of my 30-06, yeah. I've always shot 150 grain.
I could have swore I shoot 165, 160, 165. I could be wrong.
And they make it, I mean, yeah, you very easily could be.
3,000 rounds. Thank you for doing that easy math for me that I couldn't figure out on my own.
$3K to start, and you're saving $1 per round, then it's 3,000. Wow.
So, okay. Eric, okay. So 3,000 rounds. Oh, see, this is where I get myself in trouble.
how many years it would take me to shoot 3,000 rounds right now that I'm doing? If I'm shooting 80 to 100 rounds a year,
you'd have to go 20, about 30-ish, 30 days of 100 rounds a year is 30 years. Yeah, but if you go per day, it would be 100 rounds per day for 30 days.
Yeah, but it's just like he said, it's going to take me 30 years to pay that thing off.
Oh, shoot.
I'm going to be dead and gone. I'm 61.
That's old.
By the time that pays off, I'm gone.
Yeah, and then you just give it to me.
Will it to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but what about JB and Joker? And now I owe Burnout.
No.
For the federal bullets he's going to be sending me 5,000 rounds of federal bullets.
No, well, that's different because that's a sponsorship.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to end up out and whiskey. Look, I got to put up with that guy in my channel now too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, trap shoot. I think it ultimately, if you were to get into loading and reloading, especially if you keep your own brass as you shoot, if you're keeping your own brass, that helps. I don't know. It makes sense.
To be honest with you, the bottom of my gun case right now, I bet you I have 20 years of 30-06 shells that are spent. I've got a lot of weight of casings of shells, and I know I could sell them somewhere, but I'm too lazy to take them and sell them to someone. I know someone would take them.
Of course, absolutely.
I pick them up all the time, and I've got thousands of empty rounds of 40 caliber and 9mm and shit. I even got 10s out here, casings that are in bags.
Wow.
Back when I shot in the police department, we would qualify every 2 weeks on Wednesday nights up at FCI, building the Federal Correction Institute, and I would bring all them bullet casings home because they just left them on the ground.
That's what I was going to ask. What did they do?
They didn't do nothing. They don't pick. It was the federal government. They don't give a shit. The federal government's just going to buy them, so they're going to waste. And what they do, they end up raking them up, putting them in barrels, and putting them in the back of a garbage truck that comes in.
Oh my God!
I swear to God to you, that's exactly how the federal government, they used to. Now I don't know if the Federal Correction Institute still do it, but they do a lot of training and a lot of shooting at them places. And there's like thousands of rounds laying everywhere spent.
I mean, just what was it, a month ago, going out to Wyoming prairie dog hunting? The guys that went with me, I mean, just for that hunt, the one guy went out and bought a new AR. They both bought pop-up tents. They both bought benches that swivel with the, I don't even want to know, but, and just ammo. I think they probably shot, it had to be close to 800 rounds by the end of the weekend each. That's a lot of freaking money in ammo.
Well, I remember Ryan buying 1,000 rounds of ammo, 5.56, and going down here to the farm, and it was gone the same day. He'd burned through 1,000 rounds.
Right.
But now it's like, I forget what did I see at Rural King here just a while ago. It was like, I may say this wrong. Don't jump down my throat. Was it like $600 for 500 rounds or something like that?
That's crazy.
I'm not sure, but I'm thinking that it was close to like $600, and it may have been $600 or $700 for 1,000 rounds. I could be off, but I know it was pretty expensive. And I'm like, never buying another 1,000 rounds of bullets.
Oh man, I mean, it was fun. Don't get me wrong, it was fun for about the first day and a half of shooting the prairie dogs, and after that, I was like, And every time I pulled the trigger, I'm like, I'd look down, I'm like, that was $1. That was
Right.
$1.20. That was $1.20. I'm like, sadden up, man. I don't need to shoot that many more prairie dogs. I've done it enough. I'm literally just pissing money into the wind.
Right. And I mean, every time you pull that trigger, what's it costing you?
A lot.
I mean, yeah. So
Moral
I
of
don't
the
know.
story
I
is
think
our
the
hobbies cost a lot of money.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what we do. It's going to cost us at least for the average hunter. And I think they're right. The more I sit here and think about it, the average normal hunter is going to spend around anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 a year in gas, fuel, hunting gear, bullets. I mean, you just sit back and think about it. So
it makes it, like I said, it borderline depresses me, especially during bow season, because I love it so much, and I enjoy it. It, like you were saying earlier, I would take sitting in a deer stand every night over anything else because it's calming, it's relaxing, and it's beautiful, and it gives you a new experience. You might see something different, something you've never seen before, heard before. It gives you that experience. But Jesus, I'm driving 45 minutes to and 45 minutes back every day. That gas costs, that starts adding up.
yeah,
And I'm just pointing out the fact that I have to do a better job myself of understanding, do I really need that other thing, or is there something else? Could I do it a different way? And I haven't been good at that because it's just like, well, just go get another deer stand, put it up in a different spot.
I enjoy deer hunting probably more than anything else. I really enjoy deer hunting. Catfishing is probably the second thing, and my new joy is catching these carp, having fun with them. They're just, I mean, the catfish I catch and release. The carp I'm catching and release. So what am I there for? The fight, the excitement, having the fish slap me in the mouth, having the joy to be able to fish with other fishermen, letting them see me get the shit slapped out of me by a carp or a catfish. It just, I think it's, I don't care.
You need friends to go with you.
Well, the problem of it is,
Make that son of a bitch pay for shit.
the problem of it is the friends I have that are my age here, they don't want to ever leave their house. They're really glued to their homes. I feel like I'm the only one that wants to go. Or I do have one friend. He wants to fish, but I got to be home by 2:00 so I can go out to eat with my wife.
Yeah, and then he's got Wheel of Fortune after that.
Yeah, if you put a restriction on me, then there's no sense of you going fishing with me. Because if the fish are going to be hitting, I'm staying. Your wife's just going to have to deal without you.
On that same topic, you know what you do? You tell your wife when they ask, how long are you going to be fishing? You say, only fishing for half the day. Okay. Then you leave in the morning. And when she calls you at noon and says, I thought you were only fishing for half the day, you say, I'm going to let you in on a secret. There's 24 hours in a day. So 12 hours would be half a day. So I got at least another 6 to 8 hours out here.
Right.
That's a half a day of fishing. Right.
Yep.
In my math, it is.
Well, my problem is I'm fishing with him. I took him to Barren Lake. We drove all the way down, and he's like, I got to be home by 3:00. And I'm like, all right, we're leaving at 4:00 in the morning. It's going to take us 2.5 hours to get there so we can fish from 6 until 1 and then head home. So I'm down there, and I'm telling you, from 12 o'clock on, if he didn't do this 500 times, I don't know what he did. I mean, it was constantly looking at his, and you could tell and feel the watch attitude coming out of him. I'm like, oh, come on, give me a break. I'm catching fish. he's like, hey, we need to get ready to get going. I got to be home. You take her out every day for supper. Can she not fix a sandwich at home or go herself?
Hi, Pot. You calling the kettle black?
Hey.
We want to go down this road?
I'm different.
Okay.
But no, seriously, if I'm out there fishing, I'll go grab something to eat on the way home. Or I got a pack of peanut butter crackers in there. And I've always got a couple packs of peanut butter crackers in my little shoebox thing.
Crackers in a shoebox?
No. I've got my cooler, a soft side cooler. In the top, it zips, and I put my crackers and stuff in there.
Inside your cooler.
I bought a Fig Newton, and it's the worst Fig Newton I've ever ate in my entire life. I trusted one of my buddy pals to say, Chief, don't buy the real Fig Newtons. Get the ones that are like the cheap brand. I forget what make they are. You know what I mean? You have the regular kind of crackers, and then you got that cheap brand. So I buy the cheap brand. I take one bite of it, and I'm like, that doesn't even taste like a Fig Newton that I remember when I was a little kid.
Yeah, just stop and get a fillet of fish or two.
No, we're not buying no fillet of fish because that's junk food. It ain't even fish. It's not
fish.
No, you know what it is?
A fish.
No, they take shiners and grind them up and make your square patty.
Do shiners have gills?
Mm-hmm.
Do they have swim bladders?
Mm-hmm.
It's fish.
Yeah.
People eat sardines, for crying out loud. What's wrong with fish sticks? It's
Sardine.
carp.
Do you know what mustard sardines even smell like? I mean, how can anyone eat sardines?
I don't
They
know.
have their guts in them. They got their brains, their eyes, and you.
It's like we're so far off topic, but it's like what do they call them? The down south. JB, help me out. The mud crawdads. The crawdads, the crawfish, mud.
Crawfish.
They call them, mud puppy, not mud puppies. Sucking, they just suck the brains right out of those things.
Crawfish.
Yeah.
Yeah, crawfish.
Mud bugs. Yes, mud bugs.
Listen.
I one time I was in Texas and we were going to the NASCAR race, and we go to this bar the 2 nights before, and the bar was doing like a special crawdad big party, no whiskey. We go home, but Sterling Marlin, the number 40 Coors Light car at the time, he was there, and in the back they had the car, and they did this giant crawdad boil. I've never almost gagged outdoors and thrown up just from the smell of something as much as I did that night. It was the worst smell I've ever smelled. I would rather smell rotting flesh than to go to a giant crawdad boil.
Well, you've never ate crawdad?
No.
I'm going to tell you what, they are good. I will say they are good.
It smells so bad.
Yeah, but... all right. So have you ever ate anything that smells real bad?
I mean, this one time in college, but I don't think that's what you're
So, like cheese. There's different types of cheese. What is that one cheese that smells horrible? What do they call that? Starts with an M.
Munster?
Is it Munster or... No, it's not Munster, is it? I don't know what it is. It's a trap. Now, look, it is the worst smelling cheese. But if you cover your nose and eat it, It tastes great.
It doesn't taste like anything when you plug your nose.
I'm telling you, it tastes great if you plug your nose.
Do you eat your medicine that way too? Like when Pam gives you some cough syrup, do you have to plug your Limburger? Limburger smells awful too. Yeah.
Turn up, smell like a fart.
Oh yeah, cabbage, cooked cabbage.
Oh. See, now I like the smell of cabbage being cooked.
Really?
Yeah,
What
you
about
don't like
head cheese? What about head cheese?
No.
It's so popular.
Yeah, no.
Sarah, you love cabbage? Regular cabbage or cooked cabbage? Cooked cabbage?
For Monday, Lindbergh, that's it. It's
Yeah.
a Limburger cheese. Yeah,
Yeah,
you covered
Limburger
it.
totally starts with an M.
Yeah.
Oh,
Shut up.
Sarah,
Leave me
not
alone.
Terry.
There's an M in there somewhere, damn it. Leave it alone. Anyway, yes. But, all right, so we figured out tonight, quit hunting, stop fishing, sit at home on your ass and pick your own worms.
Yeah, is Jen still here? If Jen's still here, then what we figured out tonight, Jen, is that your husband is spending less on fishing now than ever before. So he should continue to go fishing, is one of the lessons we've learned tonight. He admitted it tonight. He spends less on fishing now than he ever has. So we have supported his decision to continue fishing even more.
And make sure all of you in chat, your daughters and son marry a farm girl or boy so they don't have to pay to hunt.
And so you can use your own corn to go carp fishing.
That's right. And you can use your own corn to go carp fishing. Perfect. If anyone wants to come to my house next week to pick up sweet corn, I'm going to have a ton of it. A ton of sweet corn. I'd be more than glad to give you some.
Yeah, exactly. Can I trust you are telling the truth? No.
Jen, your husband promised me tonight that he's buying you a car in 20 years.
Yeah, from all the money he saves.
Yeah, all the money.
He's learned new things tonight. Instead of buying the bait, he's going to go dig the bait up. That saves him money. Instead of driving the truck to the fishing spot, they're going to bike. That saves money and gas.
Yep.
Help.
On shoes, it's a trade-off. Oh, ain't that the truth? Shoes and prices, forget it.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, overall, what we've been talking about is we don't do this for the ROI. If we did, we'd be crazy because it's not there. There is no ROI that makes any sense. This isn't it can be a business, but we're doing it for fun, right? So we're going deer hunting, whether it costs us $25 a pound for that venison or $70 a pound for that venison. We're going deer hunting.
Yeah.
Right. And like you were kind of indicating earlier, if you go deer hunting this year, you don't get a deer. Now next year, it just doubles your costs because you didn't get any ROI the previous year. So now instead of $40 a pound, it's $80 a pound.
Yeah.
Or ammo. That's right. Any last words of advice for the people trying to save money, Eric, for hunting and fishing?
JB, go hide from her before you get in trouble.
I'd say you're saving money.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you to do. There's no easy way. Just go out and enjoy fishing and hunting. Someday it'll change. I mean, I don't know. It costs a lot of money right now. And I'm not going to Alaska anytime soon for a guided hunt trip. The cheapest one up there, 30 grand.
Well, see, what we need to do, Eric, is we need to wait for, Bortz is getting there. He's getting there. And we're just going to have to kind of tag along with him, be like, oh, you're going, oh, okay. You need a minimum of 3 guys, right? Yeah. We'll bring the whiskey.
He left for hunting tonight.
That's why I can talk shit about him because he's not hearing me. He's not here. He's not here to defend himself.
Yeah.
Nope. All right. Well, that's all I had as far as words of wisdom and yeah.
Let's do this for Cast and Camo. I'm Eric, and
I'm
that's
Todd.
Have a good night, everyone.
We'll see ya.
Stay out of trouble, everyone. See you in the morning.
Bye.